Recently, a few people have asked me how I make these model cars. So in this three-part video series, I will show you how I use 3D modeling software, 3D printers, and an airbrush to create these models. This video will be part 1. In part 1, we will cover model design and slicing. In part 2, we will 3D print the car and other parts and prepare them for paint. And in part 3, we will paint it. The first step to creating a model car is to create a model of a car. Here we are in Blender. It is a 3D modeling software. It is not the only modeling software that I use. I also use Tinkercad and Onshape sometimes. Each software has its own pros and cons, but for artistic design such as this, Blender is the best software to use. If you are looking to create dimensionally accurate designs, then Blender is not the best software for that. This car is inspired by a car from a popular video game. It is not meant to be an exact replica, and some details have been changed. A few of the notable things are the way the wing attaches. The fender has been directly attached to the car, unlike the video game model, which has a small gap at the front and rear of the fender. The fenders have been thickened up because they were easily breaking off when I first started printing it. The bottom has been simplified. It does not have all the exhaust pipes. And the front grille has been made larger and more solid as to not be so delicate and easily broken. This and other decisions have been made to make the model more suitable for 3D printing and less likely to break during shipping. This model consists of 10 pieces: the wing, the body, 4 tires, and 4 rims. The wheels connect to the body via a tight press fit. The wheel has been designed to spin using something called a print-in-place mechanism. We will be taking a look at how this mechanism works in Tinkercad. The tires are printed separately from the rims because they are printed in a material called TPU rather than in resin. We will discuss how and why the tires are made this way in part 2. Here we are in Tinkercad. Let's take a look at how this print-in-place rotating mechanism works. I have broken it down into 3 pieces, though it is all printed at once. The first piece is the rim itself, which contains the spokes and the wall that connects to the tire. This can be seen here in white. In orange, we have what I call the hub, and in blue, we have the axle cap which connects to the car. Making this transparent and looking at it from above, we can see a cross-sectional view of what this looks like inside. The orange hub is solidly attached to the white spokes. I only modeled them as separate parts to be able to reuse this hub design with different spoke designs. The blue axle cap is directly printed inside of the orange hub, but they never actually touch, allowing the hub to rotate around the axle cap. You can see a small gap all the way around the blue axle cap. There is a hole through the axle cap to allow the uncured liquid resin to escape from within the hub. You can see that the axle cap will be trapped by the hub, allowing it to rotate without allowing it to escape. The larger hole on the outside of the blue axle cap is what is press-fit onto the peg on the car body. Here we are in my resin printer slicing software called ChitUbox. As you can see, we have imported the same rim and rotated it facing up. Adjusting this slider, we can take a look at how the printer will create this part layer by layer. Here at the bottom, it starts to create the axle cap. As it gets further into the print, we can see that the hub starts to be created around the axle cap, but as it prints, these parts never touch. We can see that the axle cap tapers in and then tapers out while the hub contains it, allowing the hub to rotate around the axle cap, but preventing the parts from being able to be separated. After finishing this print-in-place mechanism, the printer moves on to finishing the spokes. Now let's take a moment to discuss how resin 3D printers work and what a slicer software is. Here you can see I have imported the car body. In resin printing, there is a vat of liquid resin, and on top of the vat is a platform which moves up and down. This platform is where the part will be created. So the part is actually created upside down and layer by layer. Each layer is cured using a screen, similar to a phone screen, but the backlight is UV light. After each layer is created, the platform raises to allow fresh liquid resin to flow under the part, and then lowered to just 0.05 millimeters above where the previous layer was printed, and the next layer is cured onto the last. As we can see, this part is solid, This would make the part very heavy and be very expensive using a lot of resin. So what we will want to do is hollow this part out. When we use the software to hollow the part, we can see that it creates this lattice-like support structure within the part. This both gives the part strength while also making it possible to print, because without it there would be large sections of the top of the model that would need to be printed in thin air. The machine can bridge small gaps in thin air, but not the entire length of this car body. With the part hollow, we have now created another problem. As this part is created and enclosed, some liquid resin will become trapped within the part. We're going to need to create some drain holes to allow the uncured liquid resin to drain out of the part. Another problem is that any horizontal surfaces tend to droop. This includes the bottom of the car, the roof, the hood, and probably even the fenders. To fix this problem, we will want to rotate the car into a position to minimize the number of horizontal surfaces. At about 45 degrees, it seems that most of the horizontal surfaces have been eliminated. Remember, this car will be printed upside down, like this. So the liquid resin will drain down towards the back of the car. So we will need to place our drain holes near the bottom of the car as it is printed, which is the back of the car. We also want to place these drain holes in a spot that will not be noticeable, and we want a flat spot which will make it easier to plug these holes after it has been printed. So let's place 2 under the wing. We also want to place some holes on the bottom to allow air to escape as it prints. And we want to place 1 up here to allow air to escape as we rinse the inside during the washing step. You will see why when we do the wash. We will need to add some support structures under the car because we cannot print in mid-air. As you can see, it created a small plug for each one of the drain holes. I'm going to put these together so they print as one unit, which makes the knot fall through the cleaning vat, which you will see later. I will select all items and let the software automatically create the supports. You can see it also creates a raft which firmly attaches the part to the platform. Typically, I would add more supports manually to make sure areas that are at a high risk of drooping get extra support. But I already have this model saved on my 3D printer, so I won't actually be using this slice. This is just for demonstration purposes. And one final look at how this car will be created upside down and top to bottom. When we click the slice button, we can see the series of black and white images that the slicer software makes. It makes one image for each layer, with the white part of the image being UV light that cures the resin and the black remaining liquid. This part has 2,400 layers and will take 5 hours, 32 minutes, and 11 seconds to print, with each layer being 0.05 millimeters, and with my printer having a 12K resolution screen, no layer lines will be visible, and this will be an extremely high-quality detailed model. So far you have seen how resin printing works, but resin prints can only print in, well, resin. And I want to use another material called TPU for the tires. TPU is a lot like tire rubber, but it is technically a plastic. This software is called Bamboo Studio. It is another slicer, but specifically for Bamboo Lab FDM printers. FDM melts a filament and lays it down layer by layer. I have my settings set to complete 1 tire before moving on to the next. That will conclude part 1 of this 3-part series. In this part, we learned about 3D modeling software, slicing software, and got a basic understanding of how resin and FDM printers work. In part 2, we will see the printers in action and prepare the parts for paint. Then in part 3, we will paint and assemble the cars.